you've got x squared minus 8x plus 9, and then you've got to write it in the form x minus a all squared minus b, and this tells us that we're completing the square for 3 marks. The key facts are that when you complete the square, okay, this is the form you're going to be getting here. When you start off with any quadratic, before you complete the square, the coefficient of x squared must always be 1. So if you've got a value in front of this x squared, you must factorise out and make sure the coefficient of x squared is 1. Now the coefficient is the number in front of the x squared. Now if I take a factor of a outside the front of this expression that I've got here, I've got a bracket and then I've got x squared plus b over a. So if I take a factor of a out of the first 2 terms only, I end up with this expression here. So I've got a bracket x squared plus b over a times by x. Because if you expanded this, you get a times x squared is ax squared, and b over a times x all times by a gives me bx. The plus c just stays the same on the end. Now from here we're going to complete the square. Now when we complete the square we have to take this expression here and we're going to halve the coefficient. Now it will be easier with numbers because you'll just have a number, for example 6, and then you'll halve your 6 and that will be the number that appears here. But we don't know what this number is, so I'm just generalising it so it looks a little bit more complicated, but it is the same process. So half of b over a is the same as b over 2a. So we just divided this expression by 2. The a is outside the front, and I'm now using a square bracket to show a difference between the 2 brackets. So I've got x plus b over 2a all squared. It is always subtract in between here, always subtract. And then whatever term you've put here after the x is the term you're going to subtract here. So it's always minus this n term squared. So in this case, it's b over 2a all squared plus your value of c on the end. From here, we're then going to multiply back in the a. So the a comes at the front here, and then you've got a times by x plus b over 2a all squared. When I expand this bit here, I've got b over 2a all squared. I can square the top term, which is the numerator, and square the denominator. So b squared is the numerator, and then I have got over 4a squared, because 2 squared is 2, a squared is a squared. Then I'm going to times by an a. So when I multiply a in the numerator divided by the a squared in the denominator, I'm left with an a in the denominator, which leaves me with minus b squared over 4a. The plus c just stays the same on the end. Now when this is in terms of numbers, you'll be able to add these 2 terms together. Now I want you to press pause, have a go at working out the question here, x squared minus 8x plus 9. It is easier than the example I've given on the right hand side because the coefficient of x squared is always 1. Press play when you've got an answer and you're ready to see how to get the marks. Well done guys. So hopefully you've managed to spot that we're going to be halving this number in front of the x. So half of minus 8 is going to be negative 4. So I've got x take away 4 all squared. It is always subtract. So this subtract here in the middle is always there. And the number you've got here in the purple, the pinky colour, we've got minus 4. And then I've got a minus 4 here. So this minus 4 is always squared as well. Plus 9, which is the number on the end. So whatever term is here after the x is the same term that appears over here. Now I've got to square this minus 4. So negative 4 times negative 4 is going to be positive 16. So I'm going to end up with x minus 4 all squared, take away 16 plus 9. Then you just need to think about your number line. This is the same as 9 take away 16, or starting at negative 16 and add on 9. For each stage we've done so far, you will get 1 method mark for getting the x minus 4 all squared. You will get your second method mark for getting the minus 16. Okay, so your first method mark comes from this x minus 4 all squared here. Then you've got your minus 16. And that gives me x minus 4 all squared -7 for your third and final mark. Remember, always write your answer on the dotted line. Make sure your answer is nice and clear. Remember to put this squared value in here, so it's x minus 4 all squared with your -7 on the end to get the 3 marks. Remember, give yourself a tick to show where the marks were awarded for the question, so you know where to get the marks in the exam.